Today's video is about Dent. They claim to be the first global and digital mobile operator. Powered by eSIM and blockchain technology, they can get you connected in over 60 countries around the world with data packages that are valid for 365 days. But are these fundamentals good enough to take the price to new levels? Let's see what the charts have to say. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is King. I'm a full-time trader and investor, and as always, today's video is not meant to be any kind of financial advice and is for pure educational purposes. There are many YouTube channels who will promise you massive gains and that you would get rich tomorrow, but this channel is not one of them. I'm a technical analyst who analyzes the market in a logical and educated way. My goal is to try to help you understand what are the possibilities and what should happen next, without giving you any promises or any unreasonable claims. For a new channel like mine, your help really matters. So if it's your first time here, please make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. The more you do it, the more I'll be able to give you content like this. So without further ado, let's go. So today I'll be starting from CoinMarketCap because there are a few points worth mentioning and we need to see where Dent stands as of right now. So this is Dent on CoinMarketCap and this is over here the 2017 cycle. I'll be talking about this later on the video when we discuss the targets, the upcoming targets for Dent. So if you want to see that, stay till the end of the video. And this is where we are today. So after this massive rally that started in the beginning of this year over here, Dent has made over 100 times return on investment and 200 times for those who bought early on. The journey back then seemed unstoppable, but unfortunately Dent started dropping in value in the beginning of April, along with the last market correction that we're in right now, and lost almost 90% of its 2021 all-time high. Now this same rally that was a blessing turned into a curse and became the first reason that caused the price to tank, and here is why. This is Dent's monthly chart, and with the massive gains that Dent have achieved at the beginning of this cycle, it has went into the overbought area early on this cycle, and right at this point over here there was no other way but to drop down because it couldn't stay in the overbought area for too long. Every financial instrument has to go through a cycle like this, so it goes into the overbought area, drops down, corrects itself until it exits this area over here, and then continue going up again. So this was the very first reason why Dent started tanking in price. Similarly, this happened on the weekly chart as well. So the weekly chart went into the overbought area twice. So first time was with the beginning of the cycle here, and with 1 week bearish, it corrected itself, but it continued climbing up again till it reached its all-time high of this year. But at that point, it had to take a breathing space, so it dropped down as well. So in my opinion, this is the first reason why Dent has to go down in price. However, there's another reason that I believe is very important. This reason is my personal justification of why Dent price dropped about 90% from its all-time high, from around 2.3 cents all the way to 0.0024 cents. Take a look at this graph over here. This graph I've taken from CoinMarketCap, and it shows the holders composition by time held. In other words, this shows you how many of Dent holders have been there for over a year, or 1 month to 12 months, or less than a month. In the crypto space, and that's my personal opinion, anybody who has been holding for less than a year is not a long-term holder of any certain coin. So as you can see over here, the majority of Dent holders are short-term holders, and most likely the majority of the 46% over here came in during this cycle, which means they came in late into the cycle. So overall we have 60%, around 60% of the people who have been holding Dent for short periods of time. The problem with these temporary holders is that they are here for quick money. And as soon as they see the price dropping, they will start dumping their bags. They are unlike the long-term holders who are there because they believe in a certain project or think this project is good and I want to hold it for as long as I can. So majority of these holders over here, 60% of Dent holders, are temporary holders. And this, in my opinion, caused the price to tank further after we touched this point here, because it was supposed to reach this point, which stands exactly at the 0.786 Fibonacci level. And this was the last support area which we had on the Fibonacci retracement level. But because we have a lot of temporary holders, they started dumping their own tokens as soon as it went up a little bit in price, and then the price started tanking even further. So that's, in my opinion, the second and a very important reason that contributed to Dent price dropping so much, almost 90% in value. Now let us go to the daily chart and try to analyze this pullback over here. So this is Dent's USDT daily chart. And as you can see, the only support level that we have over here is this yellow support area. It's a daily support area that have been retested 3 times. One time was on February. It acted as resistance back then, and right when the price broke this level, it acted as a support again, and now the price is holding right at this same area. The problem here is that I usually count on multiple confirmations in order to tell if the price has reached its bottom or not. The problem with this chart is that we have only one confirmation, which is this support area, because the Fibonacci retracement levels failed to hold the price. That's why you don't see me adding this on the chart over here. The last level was around this area over here, and this was the 0.786 retracement level. But unfortunately, when the price went down again and broke this level, so the Fibonacci retracement levels became useless. So on the Dent USDT chart, the only support we have right now is this yellow support area. And since this support area alone is not enough to confirm that the price has reached its bottom, I decided to go to the Dent Bitcoin chart. As you can see in the Dent BTC chart, the picture is way clearer over here. Right when I started analyzing this chart, I found out that this piece over here, it was the middle correction of the overall pullback of Dent. The price has formed a contracting flat that consists of 3 waves over here, and this was the second piece of bigger structure. So the overall structure was exactly like this. So this was the complete correction of Dent. This was the first wave down, and this was the second one, and this was the third one. And because I always tell you that the market always moves in waves, it's either 3 or 5 waves. So this here tells us that the 3 waves of the correction are complete, but this is only one confirmation. It's not enough. However, because the Fibonacci retracement levels here in the Dent BTC chart are clearer than the one with USDT, because the price is holding itself around the 0.786 Fibonacci level. So this 786 acting as a support for the price, along with what I believe to be a complete structure over here, gives us 2 confirmations on the BTC chart that this structure is about to end. In addition to the other 1 confirmation which we have in the USDT chart, which is the support area in the yellow box. So here we have 3 confirmations to tell us that this correction is most likely at its end, and the probability of going up right now is way stronger. Now the question that all of you are looking for an answer to is, what are the next steps going forward? What's then going to do after this point over here? Now with all the confirmations that we got, the resuming of an uptrend is subject to one last condition, and this condition is breaking the downtrend line. So this is the trend line as it stands at this moment. So as long as the price is not breaking this trend line, I won't be able to 100% confirm that we resumed the uptrend. Unless this trend line is broken and the price starts forming daily candles that are closing above this trend line. Now if we go to the 4 hours chart and take a look over here, the price seems to be consolidating around this same level, so the probability of breaking it is very strong as long as we don't go down from here. But most likely if we see a breakout, just a single candle closing above these levels at any given point, we'll be able to confirm 100% that we're in an uptrend again. So if the price breaks today or tomorrow, what are the possible scenarios? The next scenarios that we should be looking at. Usually in pullbacks like this, deep pullbacks like this, there are two likely scenarios that always go into play. The first one, if we break the trend line, we could be going into a little bit of consolidation and have a bit of accumulation before continuing the uptrend. So we could break this line, go here, then go down, come here, come down. We could consolidate for a while and then shoot at some point over here, then continue the uptrend. That's one possibility. Now the other possibility, we might break the trend line and go in a strong impulse, but then have a long-term correction and then have another strong impulse towards the top. So these are the most two likely scenarios for Dent once we break this trend line over here. Now the other important question is how far, if the trend line breaks and we resume the uptrend, how far is Dent going to go from here? Now I've seen hundreds of comments and tweets on Twitter saying that Dent will go to $1. Now I'm sorry to disappoint you here, but this is just not feasible, and people who are saying that, they are probably unaware of this market dynamics, and I'll explain to you why. So let's go back to CoinMarketCap and look at Dent. So Dent has a circulating supply of 98 billion coins. Let's say for the sake of argument that Dent is going to reach $1 tomorrow. If Dent reaches $1 tomorrow, this means that the market cap of Dent is going to be $98 billion. Let's take a look at the current ranking on the CoinMarketCap and see where would that fit. So if Dent was to be $98 billion, that would put it on the third place above Tether over here, because Tether is 60 billion and the next one up is Ethereum at 326 billion. Now logically speaking, Dent is a good project and a good coin, but it's not up to competing at this level, because at the end of the day it's still an ERC20 token and does not have its own blockchain and its own developments as some of the big projects over here, with an exclusion of Dogecoin, because that's a special case over here. So I don't think Dent right at this moment could be over here on, like, you know, the top 5 or even the top 10 or 20, because these are all big projects. Now some people might say that Dent was 11 cents in 2018, so why wouldn't it go 10 times above this price? So I got this historical screenshot over here. These are the CoinMarketCap data from the first week of January in 2018. This is Dent. It was ranked at 56th place on CoinMarketCap. And the price reached that week, it's 6 cents over here when the screenshot was taken, but it has reached around 11 cents. However, what most people forget to consider is that the circulating supply of Dent at that time was only 10 billion. Today, if Dent's circulating supply was at 10 billion, I would tell you there's a great possibility that Dent might reach $1. Because with $1 price point and 10 billion supply, Dent will be valued at $10 billion, and that will put it right now, if it is at $1, will put it somewhere maybe at the 16th place. Even that's not feasible at this point, but probably in a couple of months time, or 3 or 4 months, when the overall market cap grows, that could be very possible. However, Dent's circulating supply today is 98 billion. So it has increased from the year 2018. So the possibility of hitting $1, in my opinion, is highly unlikely. So let us take a look and see what are the realistic scenarios that Dent could be facing based on the market cap valuation that it could have. So this is Dent's weekly chart. So let's take a closer look at it and see. So if we suppose that Dent was going to go from here all the way to, let's say, 10 cents. Now, in terms of the structure, that's very possible, because if Dent goes from here to 10 cents, let's say the recovery happens right now, we first have to break the previous high and then continue up from there. So if that happened, from structure point of view, that is totally possible, because the length of this piece over here is going to be more or less similar to the length of this piece over here. And that makes sense from a structure point of view. Let's look at it from a market cap point of view. So if Dent hits 10 cents with 98 billion circulating supply, it will be valued at $10 billion. So let's see where would it be ranked as of today. So it will be on the 17th place. Now, at this point, it's not possible, because still the competition is very high with projects in these levels. However, in 2 or 3 months' time, if the overall market cap grows and we see more projects having higher and higher market caps, so that could totally happen, because $10 billion market cap at that time might place Dent somewhere maybe in the 30 to 40 rank, because each one of those coins around here have grown 3 or 4 times in value. So if Dent comes at the 30th or 33rd or 34th rank, that will make more sense. Now if we go back again to the chart, could it go further than this? Now that has lesser possibility. So let's say, for example, can it go to 30 cents from here? Maybe, but in my opinion, if that has to happen, the overall market cap has to at least double or triple, which means we need to see most of the coins tripling or doubling their value in order for Dent to be able to reach this value over here. But in terms of the $1, I believe strongly that that value is highly unlikely to happen. And please don't be misled by all of these voices on social media who keep telling you information like this without any basis, without any grounds, without knowing how the market dynamics actually work. So by the end of this, let us summarize what we said today. So Dent has had a deep pullback in the past 2 months, and this was mainly caused by the massive growth it had in the beginning and the amount of temporary holders that Dent has as of today. On the Dent Bitcoin chart, we have 2 confirmations that the correction is complete. One, because we are standing strong at the 0.78 Fibonacci level, and the second one because we have completed a corrective structure, which should be followed by another impulse upwards. And once we break the trend line, the downtrend line, we should likely see the price retesting the previous high sometime in the next 1 to 2 months. The most important confirmation to wait for right now is the breakout of this trend line. So once this trend line is broken, we will be able to confirm 100% that the trend have changed from downwards to upwards. And in regards of the long-term Dent targets, I explained to you what makes sense and what does not make sense. But at the end of the day, all of these figures are just estimates, and I mentioned them to help you understand how does this work. So don't take them as an actual targets, and this is not a financial advice, but this is what the logic and the structure of the market says. So if you're still listening till now, thank you for sticking till the end. Again, I'm appreciating all the support, the nice comments, the messages I'm receiving on social media. Thank you, I really appreciate each and every one of them. My channel is still young and it will only grow by your help. So please, if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and maybe invite a friend or two to subscribe to the channel as well. This was it for today's video. Thank you so much and see you later.